at Buddha Beach at the Cathedral Rock Vortex, and this is one of my most favorite no longer secret, sacred places to come every day. And I come and jump in the water, and then I come over here and meditate. And as you can see behind me, there's some there's some balancing stones, and that's what Buddha Beach is famous for, and that's how it got its name, is because of these balancing stones all around. And it's so interesting because today particularly, most of them have been wrecked and destroyed. I come here every day and there's a lot of them, and today they've been destroyed, which is interesting because that's what my video is about. And I wanted to talk to you today about creation and destruction. So the Shiva archetype, the Shiva essence, where it's the creator and destroyer energy. And in this point of our transformation, it's really important to utilize both, because I see a lot of people going through their stuff and releasing it and acknowledging it and just wallowing it and acknowledging it and letting it just come up and kind of just living in that space. And what I've discovered, especially in the Sedona vortex, because you have to remain balanced, is that if you stay in that energy too long, you're actually not releasing. You just start going down a negative spiral and you can't get out. And what I've realized is that the creator energy is so critical to give you that self-empowerment and to have a platform to express those redefinitions that you just acquired from all of your releasing. And so if you're just always going through your stuff and releasing, it's not going to be helpful, because you have to start creating from that open field that you just destroyed, from that death within you, that void open space. Now creation can start to come forth and actually have a place to plant and grow from the ashes, from that fertilized you throw up. And on the opposite side of the coin, there's a lot of people, and myself included, who just do, go, and it's a lot from anxiety, and it can be said that it's excitement, but a lot of it's from anxiety, and that actually isn't creation energy, that's anxiety. And so on the other side, that if you're always creating, there's not space enough for yourself to die and for yourself to kind of collapse and rest and recover and rejuvenate to go through the creative process once again. And so it's a balancing of both of these. And for me, so much comes up and is released in Sedona, and for so many of us now in this age of transformation. But it's so important that even when you're down and you just can't move, to remain aware of balancing that and getting up and going, I need to create something. Not out of anxiety, but just I need to get that creative energy flowing. And what I like to call it is the creatorship. It's not being creative, but it's being a creator. Remind yourself that you are creating your whole reality. And when you're in that other place of surrender and destruction and death, a lot of the time you just kind of can get buried in the ground there. It takes a lot more energy to create than it does to destroy. And so I think that that's some of the time why people are hesitant or push away from creating or getting into projects or whatever, getting into their passion, because it takes, you're freaking birthing a baby, you know? And so acknowledge that, but it's also important to move forward in that direction. One of the things that I see happen in the cycle of creation, which is kind of my life's theme, being the Bridget, the midwife, birther, people are really good at starting projects. Some people are really good at the middle of the project. Some people can't end a project, can't complete a cycle. One of the main areas where this energy originates is prenatally, which lays out the cycle, the life cycle of every other aspect of your life. So how you were conceived, how you were in your first few trimesters, and then how you were actually birthed. So some people are really good at starting projects, and that conception was very easy for them. Some people can't start a project. Once they get started, they can go, but some people can't start. Some people can't finish. And so wherever your stopping point in the loop is where you're going to get stuck. And so it's starting to become aware of that, going, I'm just really not good at finishing things. So where does that originate in me? Does it originate prenatally? Does it originate in some project that went awry or some relationship that was horrible, and so then I'm just scared to complete things? So starting to look at the cycle so that birth and death can start regenerating in you. For a long time, I couldn't finish. That was my thing. I couldn't finish a project. I would create paintings and they would be beautiful, but I never painted the edges or I never framed them. There wasn't a completion energy in me. And so finally I went, where is this stemming from? And I realized that it came from when I was born. My mom had toxemia at the end of her pregnancy with me. And she then had to have an induced labor. And so I had all of those chemicals that ran through me and ran through her. And I didn't want to come in yet because it wasn't my timing to come in yet. And so my birth, my completion, my finishing was drug induced, and so I was kind of lazy. And then there was a resistance to it because I was resisting that an outside force could control when I got to be born into this incarnation. And so when I went back and I did this rebirthing process, which was changed my life, and my brain was mush for 2 months, and I was completely reset in this little baby, and I couldn't even think. And after I integrated from that, completion was no big deal. I love completing now. I love birthing. I love finishing cycles. So look at where that's happening. Look where you wallow in the death. Look where you're over anxious and just always starting projects or always creating. Begin just becoming aware of the death and the birth and the polarity and which one you gravitate or live in more than the other. Because when you can get and harness that balance, then you become the middle point. And when you get to the middle point of polarity, then it becomes a trinity, and you're actually raising that consciousness to a completely beautiful cycle. Seems like it's easier to not follow your passion or not create, but really it's so much harder. And yeah, that first momentous move in a new direction can be challenging, but I recommend you continue in that direction. And does this have to do with hybrids? Of course, because you becoming you is how that reality is going to merge with this reality. So it's all about our personal practice of how we can then get to the space to be with them. And that's not the end-all goal. The end-all goal is to be our natural selves, and that will reflect in them appearing in front of us as a reflection of our natural selves. So enjoy the balance, enjoy the creation, enjoy the destruction of yourself, because we're all going through it. I'm here with you. I'm going to go make a balanced rock, and I'm going to destroy one. We'll see how long it takes. Bye. Let's see how long it takes to destroy. It just feels weird to do that. Okay, now I'm going to create one.